Welcome back. We're covering UFC 258. We crushed it last week. We went 2-2 on free plays, didn't hit any of our props, 0-2 on props. Clients went 4-1, 2-2 on props. We did like Zalal last week. We ended up changing our pick. We saw the weigh-ins, and right away we loved Choi. Choi looked amazing. He looked ginormous compared to Zalal. He looked like he was in another weight class. So we ended up going with Choi by decision, and we didn't even bet the fight. We just bet the prop plus 375, and we smashed that. So that was a good hit. That started off the night great. The other prop that we did hit was Devontae Smith by KO. I hope everyone kept that on their books when that fight got released. He was minus 300 against Justin James. That was a gimme. That was a gimme fight. Even at 160, that even helped us better. He looked like he was in another weight class of his own, too. It looked like he had an extra 15 pounds as compared to James. So that was an easy hit. Even though it was like minus 150 for knockout, I believe. But still a nice prop to hit. The other two props that we did lose on was Volkov round 4, round 5. It was worth the shot. I knew this line was a trap. And it even increased throughout the week. If you saw before the fight, it went from minus 170 to minus 200 for Volkov, trapping in more people to bet on Overeem, especially as the card went along. If you're down on the card and the last fight's Overeem Volkov, you're probably going to be more leaning to bet on Overeem at plus 200 or plus 170. So I'm glad we avoided that. We broke our losing streak for main events. Let's go. Volkov got inside the distance. We hit you to that. I wish I kept the... I wish I bet that. I didn't end up betting Volkov inside the distance because it was a minus 1. It kept going up, minus 130, I believe it was. And it just wasn't enough value for me. I wish I kept to it, though. $100 bettors, our clients who are betting $100 or more on our plays are up $565. And we're starting up our NBA selections daily. We love chasing underdogs in NBA. We love smashing them. And I also don't have too many plays for you on this card. I only have about 3 plays for you. So we are going to be live betting a lot of these fights, and we are going to be waiting in for the weigh-ins and the face-offs. So if you want our post-weigh-in predictions, hit the link below. It's $19.99 a month, and we give you everything. We'll text it all directly to your phone every day. We usually have around a play a day, and the weekends we have a big slate. And some news for this card. Rivera Munoz has been canceled again. What do you know? And I was going to talk about how the over is getting even more juiced. It started at minus 230, went to minus 270, still was loving it. Now it's off, of course. Not shocked. Didn't want to look into it. I was just so depressed about that. But well, let's go over the whole card. I'll let you know my thoughts on each fight. And I'll give you the 3 plays that I got. Diego Lima versus Belal Muhammad. Belal Muhammad is the first leg of a 3-team parlay that we have. I think he's going to freshman Diego. I'm kind of sad to even see that Belal's on the undercard. I think he should be on the main card. Give this guy a killer. Give this guy a top 10 guy. I think he's proved himself in the UFC. I hate to see him fighting Diego Lima. I think he's on a whole nother level. But the line is getting a little bit juiced. Open up at minus 300. Now it's going all the way to minus 430. Hop him in on minus 400. Pop him in with the 2 fights that I'm going to give you in a little while. Next fight, Jim Miller versus Bobby Green. Wow, I love this fight. I can't wait to watch this. I think the question in this fight is, does Jim Miller have the cardio, and is the short notice, is the 2 weeks going to be enough for him to prepare for Bobby Green? And I watched his interview, which came out, I want to say yesterday, on MMA Junkie. Go ahead and watch that. He even says it himself. He said, I would have liked to have more time to prepare for Bobby Green because he's chaotic. But although he does like the chaos. I'm kind of leaning Jim Miller here. I'm not going to be betting this fight. I might live bet it. Maybe we'll have a play on it. We're going to see how they weigh in and how they look. And I also would like to hear some more interviews. I want to hear where Bobby Green's head is at as well. Bobby Green took some damage in his last fight. He's coming in. I don't know if he took enough time off. But it's not like he got knocked out or anything. He just got, a cut on his face, a couple cuts. But they were deep. I don't know if he's going to come in hungry. A lot of people are taking Bobby Green by late stoppage. I think Jim Miller is going to have the gas to at least survive here. sometimes when I watch Bobby Green, he has a lot of volume, but he just doesn't pressure enough on the feet. And I think Jim Miller, when he's tired, will be able to jog around Bobby, get his breath together, maybe go in for a takedown. I think I see a lot of clinch work, a lot of fighting on the fence in this fight. I'm going to stay away from this for right now. This is a tough fight. Bobby Green minus 270 a little bit too high. I think the line's a little bit off. I think it should be a much closer fight. And I think when you're watching it, you're going to know it's a much closer fight. Well, next fight, Ricky Simon, or Simon, whatever you want to call him, versus Brian Kelleher. I like Brian in this. I think he needs a little bit more time to prepare. It's at 145. There's a lot of questions on this fight. I'm going to be staying away. I kind of am leaning the over as well. I think these guys, but the extra 10 pounds and the power behind it might go a long way. I watched the Brian Kelleher interview. He's pumped. He likes it at 145, but I do agree with him when he says that his body frame is meant for bantamweight. So I am worried a little bit about that, whether he can handle it. But he said that, we might be seeing a really good Brian Kelleher here at 145. Keep your eye out on that. Let's just wait for the weigh-ins. This might also be another good fight to live bet, because I believe whoever wins the first round is going to take down the fight. Next fight is Miranda Maverick versus Jillian Robertson. We do have our play in this. We do have a play in this fight. This is our first play I'm going to give you. I like Jillian Robertson plus 110. I think she's live dog here. I think she's going to be better in the clinch, better in the ground than Miranda Maverick. I do think Miranda Maverick does have a little bit of a power advantage, especially on the feet. But I think Jillian's going to be able to hold her own, grind her out, maybe get a late stoppage finish, late submission. But I am kind of leaning that she's just going to hold her on the ground for 3 rounds and get a decision. I think Miranda Maverick might be able to survive with her power advantage, but I think she's going to have bad position for the whole fight. So that's your number one play right there. Next fight is Rodolfo Vieira versus Anthony Hernandez. I don't think I've seen one person pick Anthony Hernandez, which makes me worry about this. He's fought in a lot of grapplers, but even with that said, I like Rodolfo Vieira because he's bigger. I like the bigger guy here. So we're going to stick with him. The line's completely off, minus 400. No respect for Hernandez. And the reason being that I like Rodolfo is he usually plays and usually fights bigger opponents. So he's going to have a guy the same height as him. I am worried about him on the feet. I think the longer this fight is on the feet, the better it's going to help Anthony Hernandez. So he's going to be our second leg in our parlay with Belal. So it's my 2 minus 400 fighters. Huge lines. The biggest lines on the card. Now, might as well just give you the parlay now. Belal Muhammad, Rodolfo Vieira, and now the third leg in this parlay is not on this fight card. It's Tom Aspinall for next week. Put that in there. Those are my 3 best bets for the next 2 weeks. Put that in there. You'll get it at about even odds. Now the next fight is Gabe Green versus Philip Rowe. A lot of people taking Gabe Green. Line movement already coming in on him. A lot of money coming in on Green. He's already went from even odds to minus 135. He's going to be the smaller fighter in there. Philip Rowe is going to be the bigger fighter. I'm going to stay away from this fight. There's too many questions here. And especially with this line movement, I was leaning Green as well because I think he could survive, get him, grapple Philip late, gas him out, maybe even knock him out. But too many questions. These guys are too inexperienced, and I believe they're both having their debut. I'm going to stay away from this fight. Polyana Viana versus Mallory Martin. Was leaning Polyana right away when I saw this, especially as an underdog. I think she's made big improvements, especially in her groundwork. She's going to be the bigger fighter in there, longer, taller, bigger reach. And what we saw from Mallory Martin in her last fight is that she's got a little bit of work. She's a work in progress on the feet. If you're getting beat up by Hannah Cyphers, that's a red flag. I'm going to be staying away from this fight as well, but I'm leaning Polyana. We'll see how the weigh-ins come in. I think this is another fight to live bet. I think this is another fight. Whoever wins the first round is going to take it down. Next fight, Andre Ewell versus Chris Gutierrez. This fight might have just got announced. I'm going to have to do research on that fight later on. I just saw that fight. Kelvin Gastelum versus Ian Heinisch. Wow. This line's off. Problem here is that Kelvin Gastelum's the better wrestler. The line's off. He lost 3 fights in a row, and now he's minus 270 against Ian Heinisch, who's on a little bit of a hot streak. I did watch Ian Heinisch's interview. He said he's been training in Thailand, moving around, going from different fight camps, training, and now he's at Elevation. This is a tough fight to pick. I want to go with the momentum with Ian, the values on Ian, but if Kelvin Gastelum goes in there with smart IQ, his own usual game plan of just take down, wrestle, ground and pound, he can make it look easy here. I'm going to stay away from this fight as well. A lot of people are taking Ian Heinisch. Don't blame you, but I'm not going to be shocked when I see Ian Heinisch get taken down for 3 rounds and lose the decision. So I'll be staying away from that fight. The line is completely off. This is another card where the bookies are inflating a lot of the fights that we already know are going to happen. We already know the outcome, but they're juicing it up so much, like last week with Frankie Edgar, that we are considering the other scenarios that could possibly happen but are unlikely. Next fight, which shouldn't be on the main card, should be a prelim fight. They should trade this fight with the Bobby Green Jim Miller fight. How is that not on the main event? You know, the UFC confuses me sometimes. Julian Marquez versus Maki Pitolo. I think Maki Pitolo is a fan favorite here. A lot of early money coming in on him, and I don't know why. Julian Marquez, when I first saw this fight, I was all over Julian. I'm worried about his gas tank. If he doesn't have any gas in the 3rd round, Maki Pitolo is, and he's going to knock him out. I don't mind a Pitolo round 3 knockout sprinkle. If the odds are good, I don't mind it. I know he has 3 rounds in him. And we don't know how much improvement Julian Marquez has made in the past 2 years, and we know ring rust is a real thing. I am leaning Maki here, but this is a serious live bet opportunity here, because I think Julian Marquez is going to beat him up on the feet for the 1st round. Maki might come in a little bit more of a grappling-based strategy in the 2nd round, and then hopefully in the 3rd round, Julian will be gassed, and Maki will be able to put it on him. I'm definitely going to stay away from this fight. I will be ready to live bet Maki if I see him survive past the 1st round, and that's what I suggest for you to do as well. If Maki survives the 1st round, and Julian starts to gas a little bit, check the live odds. If you're going to get Maki plus 200 or better, that's worth a shot. I would bet Maki right now if he was plus 200. That's where I cap this fight at. But the bookies are giving a little bit of credit, a little bit too much credit for Julian Marquez's layoff as well as his arm injury as well. So there are a lot of questions around that fight. I'd be ready for a live bet. This is another card. Don't put too much money early on this fight. Get your DraftKings account ready for some live bets. And if you don't have a book that live bets, I believe FanDuel and DraftKings both allow it. So get on there. Live betting, I'll give you one tip right now. Whenever fighters be slapping ass, slapping hands together at the end of a round, 90% of the time it's going to go to a decision. So use that as you will, make some money with that. Didn't happen in the Conor McGregor fight though. That was the last time it broke the streak. Before I forget, we do have a play on the Pitolo Marquez fight. We're taking over 1.5 rounds, minus 170. I even like it at 2.5. Both of these guys are durable. Only thing I'm worried about is Julian Marquez early because he's bigger. He's very big for the division, and Pitolo loves to keep his hands down. I think if he can survive the 1st round, the over is definitely going to smash. Only thing is, did Julian Marquez's stamina get better? Did his gas tank get better? Don't mind even a bet on Pitolo round 3 if you're going to get great odds on that, plus 1,500 or better. Not a bad sprinkle. Next fight I want to cover, Macy Barber, Alexa Grasso. Been back and forth on this fight. When I first looked at it, I like the dog, Macy. Think she can grapple her out, get her to the ground, win a decision. A lot of people are saying she can even knock her out on the feet. I don't believe that. I think Alexa Grasso is going to have the edge here on the feet. The longer this fight is on the feet, the more likely I think Alexa Grasso is going to win a decision. Do like the over in this fight. It's not an official pick yet. Minus 265 it is. And some people are betting the under. I got 100% of the wagers right now coming in on the under. So the only person I see finishing is Maycee Barber. So if you do like the under in this fight, take Maycee Barber inside the distance. You might get plus 300, plus 400 on that. Not a bad bet. Only thing is how well do you think Alexa Grasso is going to be on her back? I haven't seen it too often. So I'm definitely going to be staying away from this fight. Another fight where I might live bet. If whoever wins the first round is most likely going to win this fight. Last fight of the night, the main event, Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Burns. There is a lot of rumors around this fight. Kamaru Usman switching camps to Elevation. Everyone at Sanford MMA now trying to help Gilbert. You know, there's a lot of rumors and they're throwing a lot of storylines. And each one is helping Burns. You know, can Burns take him down? If he can't take down Usman, what's he going to do? I think the odds are a little bit askew here, especially with Kamaru Usman coming off an injury. I am going to be staying away from this fight. Great live bet opportunity. I don't see a spot to make money here, except for this one spot where I might take a peek at. I'm hoping it's a great line, too. If it's like the Clay Guida line, submission at like plus 950, I might have to sprinkle this, too. I want to see the line on Gilbert Burns by sub. I think the wrestler versus jiu-jitsu style is a great matchup. I'm always going to lean a little bit towards the jiu-jitsu style. Kamaru Usman has been submitted before in the past. This is not a bad sprinkle. If you can get that at really good odds, plus 800 or better, I'm not going to mind a sprinkle on Gilbert Burns by sub. Heck, it's the only way Kamaru Usman's lost in the past. I don't see him knocking out Kamaru. Guy's got a hell of a chin. And on top of that, I think he's bigger. Everyone's saying how, oh, Gilbert Burns is going to be the bigger guy here and the stronger guy. I 100% disagree. Kamaru Usman most likely cuts a little bit more weight than Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns is closer to his natural weight at 170. So, just want to warn you, this is not the best card to gamble. Next week and the week after, the fights are already out. Take a look at those fights. Take a look at those cards. There's money to be made on those cards. Save your money. This is a fight week to just watch, bet small, take it slow. We crushed it last week, you know, on Tom Brady. We crushed it last week on some props, and we crushed it last week on the main event. And didn't hit the props on the main event, but we still nailed it. So take it slow this week. Just enjoy your week. Take it slow. Maybe take a vacation this week. But let me tell you something. I'm not going to be going crazy betting thousands of dollars on these fights. I'm going to be going small. Go small with me. If you want our post-in weigh-in picks, hit the link below. I'll see you next week. Ride this wave. We are heating up, baby. Let's go.